Hi friends, my name is Kayla Rain, and today I'm doing my monthly recommendations for the month of May, and the theme this month is friendships. So monthly recommendations is a Goodreads group that I do with my friend Trina over at Between Chapters, and I will leave all the information in the down bar below for you guys to go check that out, and feel free to join in with us each month as we curate a new topic for book recommendations. Now I know that I've actually already done a friendship theme monthly recommendations back when I was doing this on my own, but I absolutely love this topic and I definitely wanted to bring it back now that everyone can share in the monthly recommendations. But I did decide to repurpose it just a little bit, and today I'm going to be focusing on female friendships because my best friends in the entire world are girls, and I am just so happy to have them in my lives because number one, they're a great support system, they're really fantastic, and they trim my bangs to save me some money in between haircuts because let's be honest, like, bangs grow really fast. Really fast. So thank God for Trish and her trimming skills. And thank God for Emily and Kristen, my two best friends, who have really set the bar high on how I judge literary friendships because they're so fantastic. So I'm just going to jump right into my favorite female friendships in literature. I am going to start with an all-time favorite, and that is going to be Codename Verity, and the two main characters in this book form this really beautiful friendship, and it's so strong and just such a great representation of the loyalty and just the determination that friends have to stick together. And this is one of my absolute hands down favorite female friendships ever. It is so well written, and when I think of friendship books, this is one of the first ones that come to mind because it is just so well written. The friendship in here is so fantastic, and it will just leave you crushed because the moments in it are so real and so beautiful and just so stunning. The next book that I have to recommend is George by Alex Gino, and this book follows a main character whose birth name is George, but she definitely identifies on the inside as Melissa and identifies as a transgender girl. And this book has such a fantastic feature of female friendship between George and her best friend Kelly, and I think this is just a great representation of how important it is to have friends who listen well and who are supportive and ready to just face the world with you when things get tough. And this was such a sweet and beautiful female friendship featured in this book, and it just really warmed my heart to see that friendship together, and I just absolutely loved it. And when I was thinking about female friendships that I wanted to put in this video, I knew this one had to go in there because it is top notch. The next book that I have to discuss is Dumplin by Julie Murphy, and the two characters in this book that I'm talking about friendship wise are Willow Dean and Ellen. There are a few different female friendships in this book, but the one that I thought was very realistic and just very wonderful and I definitely wanted to talk about was between Willow Dean and Ellen, because this book features some friend fights, which can be real, and sometimes these things do happen, and I love the way that they were portrayed in this book, that it wasn't some catty, meaningless fight. There was some real discussion, some real development between the relationship of the two friends when this fight was happening, and I think that's something that sometimes gets glazed over in literature, especially YA literature, when you have books with female friendships and they get into fights and nothing ever comes from it, and it doesn't really have a building aspect on it for the relationship, especially when it's over like a boy and they both like the same boy. That irritates me so badly to see that without any functional aspects of it. It's just put in there for drama. So this book definitely hit the nail on the head with friendship fights, and I think that was really fantastic. And just seeing Willow Dean and Ellen grow together as friends was just really beautiful and well done. Next, I have Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. Now, first and foremost, this is a romance book, but there is a really great side friendship in this book that really illustrates a great female friendship. The friendship between Emmy and Charlotte is so wonderful, and it very much reminds me of my real life friendships because Charlotte and Emmy definitely know what each other needs, and they're not afraid to ask if each other needs any help, and they're very supportive of each other. And I just love that aspect of this book, that it really displayed how friends do know when you're feeling down, when you need someone to pick you up and help you out, and that is such a great illustration of a real friendship, because I know that the friends that I have in my life are always there to pick me up and help me, and even when I'm having a bad day and I don't want to admit it, they definitely call me out on it and tell me that I need to relax, talk about things, and just work through whatever is giving me a hard time. And this book definitely illustrated that, and I loved it, and just Charlotte and Emmy make such a great friendship duo. And when I talk about female friendships, I can't go without mentioning the book Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell and the friendship that blooms between Reagan and Kath. I think this is a really fun friendship duo to read about, because Kath is just very inside herself and very reclusive and doesn't really like to rock the boat and cause any type of trouble, and then Reagan is this very prickly character who is definitely out of the box and just ready to go, and just seeing these two come together when they are very opposites attract type situation was really fun to read, and just a really great representation of when friends pair up that don't necessarily seem like they go together but complement each other very well when their friendship begins to blossom. And of course, I am going to throw in Wild Swans by Jessica Spotswood. This is a book that I am almost finished with. Not quite finished, but getting very close. But I definitely wanted to throw it in here because I think that the representation of friendship in here is really well done. Again, with the main character, Ivy, and then her two best friends, Abby and Claire. One of the things that I really liked about this book is the friendships are more of a supporting role than an active role throughout the entire novel. And I think that's very true to real life for a lot of people, that you don't have your friends in your life every single day, but they're definitely still supportive and you are ready to lift each other up and also come together when you're having a hard time, come together when you're celebrating something, and that even if they're not there 24/7, they're still very much a part of your life and very important to it. And I love how this book so realistically represented that. And lastly, I of course have to throw in The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashers, and be sure to be looking out on my channel at the end of the month because I'm going to be making some pretty exciting announcements. Well, just one exciting announcement, but there are going to be some other people involved in that. But yes, this book follows 4 friends that grew up together from birth up until their high school years, and it just follows them through their first summer that they're going to spend apart. And all 4 of them are going in very different directions at the moment, and I just really loved the dynamics of what happens to friends when you grow up and when you go your separate ways sometimes and try new things, and who you are as an individual, and how having that friendship and support really builds who you are as a person. And this book just has this complex view of friendship, and it's just fantastic. So if you're looking for the best friendship book ever, I do highly recommend The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashers. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and it's definitely my #1 favorite friendship book because it's really fantastic. So that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy reading really great friendship books as much as I do. They are one of my favorite things to read, and I think it's just really fantastic to see great friendships represented in literature, especially female friendships, and that's why I just really wanted to focus on that today. Because like I said, I've done this topic before. I wanted to repurpose it a little bit, and I knew that discussing female friendships is something that is very near and dear to my heart because I love my female friendships. And seeing that representation in literature is just super, super amazing. So thank you so much for watching. As always, stay weird.